YouTube, what up? It's Neace. I'm here with a new top 10 coaching client fails video. If you don't know who I am, I'm Neace, no bullshit gamer. I coach League of Legends solo queue on twitch.tv/Neace. I am the most veteran coach. This isn't me bragging, it's just fact. I've coached the most League of Legends solo queue clients in the biz, and this list is a representation of things that if a random client sent me a coaching video tomorrow, this is likely what I would see, the types of mistakes that they're making. So we're going to talk about these general mistakes. They don't apply to every lane, to every single thing, but hopefully they'll give you some insight on what you can be doing better at the end of season, or maybe in the off season as we're waiting for season 8 so you can crush. Okay? If you like it, like, subscribe, whatever. If you really like it, you really want to support it, twitch.tv/Neace, drop me a sub there. That stuff really does help. The subs are who keep me in business. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, let's get started. Oh, and one little caveat. It's going to be a long video, okay? If you want to learn, if you actually want to get better, I've tried to condense it down as best I can to talk about these things. But, this isn't clickbait, meme shit. This is for you actually learning something. So hopefully it helps, all right? Number 1. For the League of Legends common coaching client mistakes. All right, not understanding XP advantages, i.e. level 2 greater than 1, level 2 is equal to 2, etc. So I have an example. This is all the examples will be taken from this game that I played yesterday. I played a bunch of games on this GP account, but I found specific examples that I wanted to use as demos. This one right here, understanding a level 2 power spikes and playing around them and not just getting cheesed out of lane is important, or cheesing in a lane depending on what you are. For the case of GP, he's not really a level 2 aggressor in a level 1 scenario because he's trying to poke Riven with Q as much as possible and accumulate an HP lead before level 2. But I just want you to see how in this particular demo I am perfectly aware of Riven turning level 2, and I want you to see right as she turns level 2, I match it right away. Just back up and match it. Sounds obvious, sounds kind of dumb, but if you're facing someone who isn't as experienced or is more experienced and you're less experienced or whatever, Riven push for level 2, immediately jumps to you and trades on you at level 2 versus level 1 or whatever. And then suddenly you're out of lane. You're fucked. Just like if you face a Tryndamere, Renekton, or whatever. If you're mid lane, you face a LeBlanc. If you're an Ahri or whatever. If you're bot lane and you're facing Draven, you get cheese level 2, or Leona, you get cheese level 2. You need to be aware of what level 2's power spike is. For the top lane, it's the first melee creep of the second wave, assuming that you got all the first. And then here it's the 9th minion on bot lane will get you level 2. So the third melee creep in the second wave. You need to know, and this mostly pertains to laning, obviously not jungle, but you need to know and understand what is going to happen when your opponent turns levels 2, what skill they're going to take. Here, I obviously match to level 2, back up, put my barrel down, and Riven does the standard low elo thing where she tries to trade level 2 without thinking like GP's level 2 as well, burns her cooldowns and gets just crushed on a trade, right? That's all just standard stuff, okay? That's all just standard stuff, but people make this mistake all the time, so be aware of it. Now, next up, random roams. That's number 2. Random roams, or as I like to call them, fuck it roams. Lane's not pushed, just following to follow, whatever the reason is. And like I said, I do have examples for these things. So right about here looks good. Sorry, Riot loves to screw up their client these days. Okay, so here, GP's dead, right? I'm dead. Get swagged on. Get beat up. I want you to watch Riven's random, just random freak out roam. It makes no sense. As you can see, it's always mirrored. By the way, minions are always mirrored. GP's dead for the next 2 seconds, and there's a huge wave pushing out. So that means that this wave is gonna hit this wave and is gonna keep pushing. But I want you to see how Riven doesn't seem to want to shove the lane or do anything or force a TP or anything, right? Watch this fuck it roam. Watch. Just fuck it. Fuck it, I'm roaming. Now, why is this a problem? Well, for one, this Riven is already losing lane, but not even the biggest issue. It's the fact that this guy roams I don't even have to TP because I see it and I'm like, I don't know why she's not pushing, but all right. So I just walk back into lane, no problem, and take the farm. Whereas if she had pushed, I might have had to TP to block it or something, or she could just try to push it under the tower. This is just one situation of many, and it is common. In mid, people just randomly take off and roam down a lane while their lane is not even pushed. They follow for no reason when following, it just means that they show up late and they could have just pushed their wave and taxed the enemies. Like, for example, if you're Riven, and let's say that Riven's doing better, you push the lane under and then roam to mid, that's actually a reasonable roam because GP's forced to choose. Either I follow the roam and miss XP, or I just take my XP and get raged at by my teammates. For me, it's a no-brainer. You always just kind of chill in lane as GP. But the idea is you understand. You don't just randomly run around the map. That's decisions like these are why low elo players always fall behind so much in XP, is they don't understand that roaming is just gimping themselves. When they're just kind of roaming to hope things work and hope they get lucky and get like the super triple kill or whatever. It's just, it's bad play. Long term, they're just going to keep falling behind in XP and go, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I'm getting shit on so hard. And it's like, yeah, because you just randomly roam without completely pushing, or you roam for no fucking reason. It just doesn't make any sense. The times that you roam, when the wave's pushed, or if your opponent's roaming, only follow if you know you're actually going to get something done, which for most low elo players is like never. Following is almost always bad when they can just push the lane and then deny their opponent XP, because in low elo people also extend trades way too fucking long. Which brings me to my next point. Number 3, lingering in trades and fights while missing important cooldowns. And like I said, I can just go into a game of solo queue and I can find examples all throughout the board. So here, 645. I want you to watch this Anivia. Anivia has already died in lane to the Lux. He blew his flash and he lost his passive, right? I want you to see how even though the lane is pushing towards him, yes, he has a level lead, but the lane is pushing towards him. He has no flash. He has no passive. He tries to just go all in on this Lux, who's about to turn level 6 because the lane's pushing, by the way, which is pretty obvious. So he's never killing Lux there, ever. He's never 100-0ing Lux, but he acts like it. Gank comes. Easiest kill ever. The Lux doesn't have to ult. All because he decided to use all of his cooldowns, overplay an engage, overplay a trade with the wave pushing towards him with no flash, with no passive. It's just typical. If he just waited and wave cleared until he had more CS, he had, he has flashback, he had his passive back, just played the game slow. As Anivia, that's never bad, and just overall in solo queue, it's never bad to do that. To wait until you have those important cooldowns before you loosen back up again. So again, just common mistakes that you see everywhere. The next one, fundamentals. Let's see here. I can show you at 20 minutes. And sorry that we've got some lingering sound. 20 minutes. I'm going to bring up not taking fundamentals seriously. Fundamentals are secondary. CS towers are greater than everything, and trades are for access. Okay, and what do I mean? I'm saying that when I go into a random game of solo queue and I prop open the CS numbers, I want you to see what I see. 20 minutes, I'm not farming the best, but I've also killed 10 fucking people, right? But I'm farming the best in this room by a mile. And that really shouldn't be the case. Everyone's farm should be a lot higher than it is. This is obvious, people CSing bad. And, as obvious as it is, time and time again, when I look in games, low elo games specifically, people emphasize trading more than farming. They will do anything to trade. It seems like they'll do anything to trade, and they don't really care about whether or not they miss CS here or there. they're not really fighting to hit every CS. Sometimes they don't use their spells in conjunction with their auto attacks when they need to under tower, or sometimes they don't understand how farm works when it hits the tower. 3 tower shots for melee, 2 tower shots for range, so you can set up those creeps very easily. 1 auto for the range creeps plus the tower shot, and then the other auto you get the range creep, etc. Just stuff like that people don't take into account. And when I'm saying, when I say something like trading, kills, all that stuff, trades are for access, I'm saying that the only reason why you should be trying to win your lane is so that you can get easy access to the CS, or you can deny access to the CS for your opponent, and by extension, gimping your opponent, denying them their CS, and taking all the CS gets you closer to taking objectives. That's why I think it's funny that when I look at low elo games, it's common that another example is just is wave clear. You'll see a wave will crash under tower, and instead of trying to clear the wave, opponent will literally just use their abilities to try to damage their opponents instead of hitting all the creeps. See it time and time again on my replays and my coachings. I know there's a Lux here. I didn't find any examples on this replay where it's like really obvious, but it's common. It's common stuff that people don't focus on the fundamentals of farming and winning those towers. They would rather just trade. And every game, you can just see people falling behind in CS everywhere. If this Lux had, less kills, less deaths, and 200 farm, that's more stable and easy, maybe not 200 farm, like 180 or 170 or whatever. That's a lot easier to control a game if you can just focus on that. That's guaranteed. The CS coming down the lane, that shit's guaranteed. These kills and stuff, it's great when it happens, but your farm should be pretty damn good every time. And to be honest, even in this video, I'm embarrassed when I look at my farm. I'm like, this should be a little bit better for a Smurf for sure. So, and that's how I am. I'm critical on myself, even with scores like these. I'm very like, oh man, my farm, I don't know if I should show this on YouTube. So that's how you should be. You should be focusing on it. It should be important to you more so than kills, more so than trades, all that. You should be hitting that CS every time. And if you can't, you need to fucking practice with bots, or I don't know, but that's your dribbling. That's in basketball. It's everything. Next, number 5, confidence issues. You need more rap music, gym, and or less anime. That's kind of a joke. It's kind of a joke. But seriously though, like, when I coach people and they say things to me like, well, the guy on the other team was a one-trick pony, or he was a rank ahead of me and I just felt like I couldn't beat him, or yada yada, and I hear that and I just cringe. I'm like, dude, you're in silver, he's in gold. Dude, you're in gold, he's in platinum. Like, it's so minimal. The edges are so minimal. It's about just focusing on your fundamentals and doing the things that you know are right correctly. Practicing those things and focusing on those things. If you assume that your opponents are better than you, guess what? No one gives a fuck. When I started, I'll just use streaming as an example. When I started streaming, my parents didn't want me to do this shit. My friends were like, that's a joke job. There were so many interactions before I got married. There's so many interactions with women where it was like, oh, you play video games, nerd. Now I do this shit for a living because, and not to sound douchey, but because I believed in what I was doing. No one else. Parents won't believe in it. Your friends won't believe in it. It's the same thing in League. It's the same thing in life. No one gives a fuck. You give me a replay, I'll try to help you improve. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna chase you around and be like, well, you confident in yourself? You believe that you got it? It's like either you think that you're worth it or you're not. And I know that's kind of like preachy. But I think it's important to say, because a lot of gamers, definitely League players, have confidence issues where they assume that their opponent's better than them. It won't make you get better. You won't be comfortable making the mistakes that you'll need to make in order to learn your limitations. And by mistake, I mean you won't feel comfortable taking the risks that you know you should take, or playing the way that you know you should play, because you're worried of what people will say, what they'll think, how you'll look if you feed, all that shit. You've got to just, whatever it takes, rap music, lift some weights. I don't know how to help with that outside of the game. But it's important that you do your best to solve it, I guess. I don't have an example for that, but you get the idea. Number 6, Champion Galaxy. This one goes without saying. I obviously coach, but I watch LS do a lot of OP.GG reviews all the time, and I get it. They pay money so that he roasts them or whatever. That's fine. I think they're funny. LS is cool. We're friends for the most part. We hung out in Korea, and I'm just thinking about him doing these OP.GG reviews, and the amount of times that people will pay money and then he'll just open it up and be like, you play too many champs. It boggles the mind. Like, the reality is this. Anybody, like, if you look, I use Dopa as my research, my guinea pig, right? If I want to learn TF, if I want to focus on mid like I did this season, I open up a Dopa replay and look. Dopa, if you look through his champion pool, he will very rarely deviate. It's like Kassadin, TF, Orianna, Ezreal if I'm in the jungle. Like, it's very ABC, and he's one of the best players in the world playing for years. And even he doesn't have the confidence to show up. Even on Smurfs, he rarely deviates from his staple pick, like what he plays. And I just think it's funny that when you see something like that, and then you see some dude in silver with like 100 champs played, and you're like, there's no helping you until you fix this Champion Galaxy where you think you can play everything. Because essentially, you are good at nothing, and you are useless at everything. Literally. You will never be standout. You will never perfect anything, and a lot of League is just perfection. Perfecting your power spikes, perfecting your wave clear patterns, perfecting your trading, understanding like your limitations. How are you going to do any of that if you're playing a million champs? It's impossible. It's just impossible. You don't have to be a one-trick pony, but it shouldn't be more than like a couple champs per role. And when I look at people's champ pool, it's just. I mean, look at this stupid land climb we did. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but it's a good point. Even still. My buddy Oryx and I, when we did the land climb, look at the champion pool for this. That's it. That's literally it for the champ pool. I mean, it's one page, right? It's one page, not even. It's like half a page on normal sizing. So don't do the thing where you have to play every champ. Like, if you're gonna play champs, that's fine. Try them in normals, but perfect shit when you bring it into ranked, okay? Next up, herd mentality. But if I don't do this, my team. I hear that all the time in the coachings. My team. If I don't roam and help my team, but my team is losing. But my team is going to team fight. They're going to feed if I, no. That means that you are just not coming up with your own ways of pressure, and you're defaulting to try to plug leaks elsewhere. I preach it on my stream all the time. I have very rarely, less than 1% of all replays have been lost by someone split pushing. I have had it happen where someone has like split pushed to death. I've seen that, but it is ultra rare. And I do have an example of herd mentality. Of me not doing herd mentality, I should say. Let me give you an example. That Riven roaming is a pretty good example of herd mentality, just being like, oh, I'm just going to help the team, even though I'm feeding out of my mind. Right here, I want you to see how when you look at replays from, like, if you pull up one of my random coachings of my top laners, you'll see time and time again how many top laners won't even be here. The amount of top laners that win the tier 1 and don't even push to the tier 2 is just ridiculous. But here's a perfect example. We're pressuring. Look, my teammates are in no position to push, really, and it is dangerous. We do have vision down. We'll show vision. It's dangerous, but we have vision down everywhere. But I'm looking for ways to draw pressure, always. To towers, to objectives. I'm always, if I'm allowed to do it, I'm gonna do it. And here we have the vision of everything, so we know that if we have mid pushed, we have all this. But people, time and time again, they just won't pressure. And it's like taking a risk, taking calculated risks like these. Obviously, this is fancy pants shit, right? You don't have to back there or do anything. Just pressuring the tier 2 is enough. But like the amount of times people will get fed and not utilize their lead to try to draw pressure and draw people to them, and will just, you know, float around the mid game in the back half of the map. Basically, they draw like a line of scrimmage and they never push beyond this point. People do this all the time. They just don't push. But if in order to win, you have to pull people to you and encourage your teammates to draw their own pressure and to get things done, like Dragon is done here, because that's why we're pushing top in the first place. But like that at its core is not following the herd mentality. Sure, I could run into mid and start team fighting and then roll my eyes when the team fight doesn't go our way, and then all of a sudden all that XP that I could have controlled is gone, just by pushing and dominating my lane. But it's like taking those risks long term. It's about sometimes, yeah, it's not gonna work. Sometimes you're gonna split push, your teammates are gonna die. Sometimes you're gonna try something and your teammates are gonna die and you might lose, you might misplay a duel or whatever, but it's better to do that long term than to just mindlessly group and flip the coin, roll the dice, and hope it pays. That's how you get the crazy win rates in solo queue and learn how to carry yourself long term. So, next up, dying for free when fed. Basically, catch-up XP is huge now, and it's aimed at whoever is fed specifically. In this case, I use you specifically. Every death is important. Here's one example of a dude in low elo who is fed, who, in my opinion, if I'm not there smurfing or whatever the hell, he would be throwing massive amounts of XP away, and he did it a lot this game, so I highlighted it because this is probably a reason why this dude is in low elo. Is because he seems to be playing well, and then he randomly just spazzes out and like forces some goofy shit to the point, and he has no need to do it, and he doesn't really have kill potential. And you can see, like, I try to help him as best I can, but I'm also not sacrificing myself in order to do so. I'm playing on that line for sure, but I'm also very aware that, like, this guy's dead, so I can tank it a little bit and try to help him get his kill, but he's fucking dead. So that's the thing, is he's giving away XP. You can see the level up for the Lux, I believe it is, or the Jinx. He's just giving away boatloads of XP to the enemy team and a shutdown. Newbies do this shit all the time, and it loses you games more and more with the catch-up XP changes that have happened. So just don't try to don't think, oh, I'm so fed, look at me go. It's kind of like, it's basically like you need to get all that getting fed and throwing leads shit out of your system in norms or something, because you need to understand, like, in spots like that, just wait. If I go back, actually, hopefully it doesn't freeze the replay. If I go back, I mean, just look at the map as an example point, right? 4 people are up on the enemy team. There's no one in position. Everyone is and actually, this is great. This is a perfect example, now that I think about it, for number 9. Bad math. 2 versus 4, or 2 greater than 4, 1 greater than 2, 4 greater than 5. These are not true. And what do I mean by bad math? This situation right here. We have a Warwick who, for some reason, is looking at the situation. No minions on tower, by the way. No minions on tower. He looks at the situation and goes, I'm going to dive here, even though it's going to be a 4v2. That's assuming that I dive the tower, but I'm not an idiot, so I'm not going to dive the tower ever. I'm just going to poke and then run away. But he's going to dive the tower because it's, that's what people do in low elo. That's the common mistake, is that people just don't count. Where's my Anivia? Where's my Karma? Where's my Jhin? Oh god, they're at the back half of the map. And you can see how I play it. I have it all figured out before I get in there. I have a plan of entry and exit every time in spots like these. Warwick, no plan of exit. Just, oh, I threw my champion into the enemy team. Maybe he gets the kill, but he probably dies, which is still not worth. All right, so you need to be constantly checking the mini-map before you do anything. Constantly go, is this weighted? Is this not weighted? And it's especially important when you're split pushing or when you have a split pusher on your team. Always be cross-referencing that. And when you die, ask yourself, be like, did I just accept, did I just handshake a 2v5 or a 1v5? Because this guy should be looking at this death and going, wow, that's really bad. I should not be doing that over and over again. This can add up if I keep it up. All right. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about, number 10, a lack of layering, or if I do X, he does Y. I have a dive example top that we can talk about, and then I'm going to shut this down and get to streaming. So here, what is layering? Essentially, layering is understanding if you do something, my opponent's going to do something, and you need to always... when you're new at the game, the first thing you do is like, what does my champion do? Ooh, that's cool. As you get better at the game, though, you need to understand not only what your champion does, but what your opponent is going to do. So if I slowed this down right now, you're going to see. Here, I anticipate Riven trying to do her Q onto me, so I trade, right? I know that she's going to shield, so I don't step too far under the tower. Now, watch the scenario here of how I play the dive. Every aspect of this dive is layered. As in, I'm thinking about so many different aspects of what the Riven's trying to do. For me, I'm thinking, okay, huge wave under tower, Riven wants to get it. Right? Riven wants to get it. I'm GP. I'm not very good at diving. And Riven's very good at defending against a dive because she's hypermobile. For my top laners out here, you probably know this scenario all too well. Riven's low under tower. She gets to outplay you with stun and mobility and all that stuff. And you will fuck up your dives. And you'll be like, oh, wow, Riven's OP, right? I agree, she kind of is. But once you understand the champion, maybe you played in normals a few times like I have or whatever, it gets to the point where you can understand what she's thinking. Here, I know that she wants to get the XP. So I play this very calmly and think about, and I'd already burned her flash earlier in the replay. I think I showed it earlier. But watch how I am baiting all of her cooldowns first before committing. I bait everything, get her to auto me. She has nothing. I flash and Q away. Or flash auto, then Q, and then step out of tower range. I thought about her cooldowns across the board, her E, her W, her Q. I tried to bait her into taking too much damage from minions. I tried to see how she would play it, if she would try to run away and give away the zone, which I wouldn't flash, I would just take the zone, but if she wants to stay, then I'm going to force the dive with the flash. That's all layering. Saying to yourself, okay, if I go on her under a tower, she's going to burn all of her cooldowns, but she doesn't have kill potential because I'm level 5, she's level 4. I have a huge HP lead. I have my W still. I just won't auto her though, because if I auto her, then I draw turret aggro. If she blows her W and her Q, and I have my passive back up, my passive will deal the true damage, then I can auto her, Q, the tower's going to aggro to me, then I'm going to flash away. Yes, I am thinking about all those things while I'm diving. Yes, it is hard and it does take practice, but it's based on the fundamentals. That's what layering is. If you want to begin, just start with like, a lot of minions under tower. Let's fuck around with the spot. Just don't touch her. Let's see what cooldowns we can get her to waste, and then try to piece it together from there. As you get better, then your dives will start to make more sense. And that layering shit, I wanted to spend some time on it as the last one because it is everything in this game. Like, layering is like, good players always do that. If people think, oh, skill shot dodging, they're just looking at the skill shots and dodging them. Sometimes, but most of the time we knew the skill shot was coming because of layering. That's why when you see somebody dodging a bunch of skill shots in a fight, it's because they knew those skill shots were going to happen. Just like I knew that Riven would probably blow all of her cooldowns if she sees me going under tower, because she is going to assume that because she's low, just like every other newbie has done, I'm just going to walk under tower and auto her and draw turret aggro and try a stupid dive. It's like, no, I'm not going to draw turret aggro. We're going to wait out the cooldowns, then commit. Okay? And that's it, guys. That is everything. Let me fix my camera. Whoop. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips, these coaching tips, or this talk rather, helps you out and helps you understand some spots about your gameplay that you might not be doing such a good job at. Obviously, we could go nonstop on this. I've spent enough of your time talking about this stuff. If you enjoyed it, you know, subscribe, like, etc. You know I appreciate it. If you really like my content, you want to support it and keep me employed, you can go to twitch.tv/Neace, sub to Twitch, use your Amazon Prime stuff. It does really help. It does keep me going with this stuff. YouTube kind of sucks. I'm just keeping it real. So those things actually help me out. I love you, and I hope that these tips actually help your game and you can learn something from them and you share it and all that stuff. All right, it's Neace, No Bullshit Gamer. I'll catch you guys the next time that I make some edited stuff. Hopefully it won't take too long next time. I love you, and I'm out. Peace. Crackers. Bye-bye.